One of the mistakes I see most beginners make when writing their calligraphy letters is the letter A. So what you have with the letter A is you have an oval and you have an underturn. And simply what you do is you put them together, your oval and your underturn, right? And I'm shortening this underturn. Just, you can go all the way up though, but I shorten it when I write my A. And what I want you to consider when you're doing this is what I see most often happen, is beginners draw an oval like this, like the letter C, and then they do an underturn, just like they would if they were printing the alphabet. So I think a lot of us learned how to print by drawing part of a circle and then a stem like this. This is the wrong way to draw the letter A in calligraphy. What you want to do is, like I said, think of calligraphy as a separate strokes, and you add them together like an alphabet puzzle, right? There's your ovals, practice your ovals, and then you're going to add your underturn and practice your underturns. Then put the two together, oval, closing it up, meeting up again. Look where I started my oval. I'll just zoom in a bit. Look where I started my oval, right here below the waistline, going up, push, release before the bottom, and meet up again. Ooh, that's a bit of an egg. So I'm starting here, up, push, release, and meet up again. That's better. Okay, and then where am I going to add? I'm closing it up. I'm not drawing half an oval. I'm going to add my underturn, and I'm going to come down right beside it. I'm not going to go inside of it. So the second mistake beginners make is if they draw the entire oval, then they draw the underturn and they enter into this space. So we don't want to do that. We want to stay outside of the oval space, so you see an entire oval inside here. You see that? I actually should use a different pen. So here we're going into this space, and here we are keeping that oval intact, and we're coming down right beside it. So I'll demo that again. I'm using my lined paper from the KellyCreates paper pad, and I'm using the Dream pen from the Meadow set called Stream. This is the smaller end of the Dream pen. So there's my whole oval, and there is my underturn. Now, last of all, what I see beginners do is they mess up the angle between the oval and this underturn, these two separate parts. So what do I mean by that? I'm gonna switch to my small brush pen and see if I can show you with that. Because it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna write smaller, and just so you see the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna write half the size of my X height. My X height here is this entire space, this line, and I'm gonna go to half of that, and I'll draw an oval and an underturn. And so together, oval and underturn. So what I wanted to point out is often the slant of the oval and the underturn is different. And even I do this sometimes. So what does that look like? That means you could have, let's say your oval is like this. And then you add your underturn and you make it straight up and down. Do you see that? Now, some of you, if you like this style, that's fine. In general, in calligraphy, we want our slant lines to be the same. So what has happened here? Your slant line of your oval is like this. And where's your slant line of your underturn? It's straight up and down. These two slant lines should be parallel. So this one should come down like this, parallel to that. So what does that look like? There's my oval, and there is my underturn at the same slant. So you check it out, and you can use your ruler to check it out. I'm glad it checked out. I was worried that it wouldn't. And so if you are struggling with your angles and your A's look like this, you just want to change up and tilt the angle of your underturn a little bit more. So let me grab my brush pen and show you with a larger A what that looks like. So let's say I was going to do, this is my wildflower pen. There's my oval, and if this has a certain slant, like that. And what if I did that? And, you know, to the untrained eye, you think, well, that looks good. The form is good and everything. But then if something looks kind of off with your lettering, it's usually because of that. Now look at this angle. And where should it be? It should be quite different. So let me fix that. I'm going to fix it over here. Okay, there is my oval. And keeping that nice angle for my underturn. It's subtle, but it is a big difference. Let's check. I'm always hoping it's going to work out. Okay, so if you can see the difference with these A's, that will make your letters look much more consistent and spaced nicely when you are writing a word. So let's take a quick look at a word we can write and see what I mean. So first I'm going to do an example of a word that doesn't have a good angle. Let's write the word cat. So I'll draw my C like this. And let's say I draw my O like, my oval, my A like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, so my technique looks good, my pressure and release is good, but let's check out the angle. And it's actually kind of hard for me to cut your ovals in half, and first, so this is slightly off, and then this angle of this stem, all these slant lines should be parallel, and then let's look at the angle of the T. So when your word looks slightly off, it's because you are missing, or you're changing your slant lines of every letter. And this is very common. So what you have to do is you just have to practice so your slant lines are the same. And the best way to do this is actually by using slant lines. And what do I mean by that? Is you can draw them. You can see what the difference is here. You can either draw slant lines on your paper, or you can use grid paper with slant lines. Now this is downloaded from my website. Well, actually it didn't print right. My printer is a little bit crappy. But it is a 55-degree practice guide sheet, and it has these slant lines on it, so that will help you follow it. But if you're using the slant line paper, then actually use the slant lines. I have seen beginners, I'll just show you what I mean, practice with the slant line paper, but they don't use it. So let's say we're working on the letter A. So your oval has to be cut in half by the slant line. And let's say I have to do my underturn. I'm going to follow this, make sure it's all parallel. And this will take some getting used to. And then, so do it again, draw your oval on this, and make sure you're coming down at this angle with your underturn, like that. Now, it will make a big difference in your words when you combine all of your letters. Like when we practice the alphabet, we're not going to really always notice these slant lines being off because all the letters are separate. When you notice it is when you start to write your words and connect them together, and your slant lines are all wonky, and then the word looks funny, or the lettering looks funny, odd. So use the slant lines with a practice paper. Draw your own if you need to. They don't have to be 55 degrees. They can be slightly different, but no matter if they're slightly different, you can still follow them. So draw your own or use my practice guide, and this is downloadable at KellyCreates.ca. It will say, I'll put the link below, and it will say free for you, and you will see my free guide sheets, and this is one of them. So practice your slant lines and practice that letter A so you get it looking really nice, and Enjoy your calligraphy. Thanks for watching.